Welcome back to another episode of Curios for the Curious. Today we're looking at a glass ashtray, and this is actually a thrift store find several years ago, but it caught my eye, and it's an interesting piece. If we go ahead and take a little closer look at it, um, it is a kind of a aqua blue with a little bit of green to it. Tinted glass here, clear, as you can see. If we try to avoid some of these reflections here, it is an ashtray with four indentations for resting maybe your cigarette, cigar, stem of a pipe, etc., just as a locations to keep whatever you're smoking or holding, being able to set it down without it actually rolling away and causing a hazard or a mess, at the least. If we look at the edge perimeter, we can see it's fairly wide, approximately 3/4 of an inch, maybe actually a little bit more than that. So approximately almost 2 centimeters thick this way. Smooth, pretty flat all the way around. Not perfect though, as you can see from the reflections. There are irregularities. Um, the dish portion or the bowl portion is fairly smooth. Don't feel too many imperfections, but it does not feel exactly perfect either. Um, so I'm curious as to how this was actually originally made, whether it was actually pressed in uh, in a press mold while the glass was still in a hot molten state, possibly. I don't believe this was actually poured in, so I do believe this was a press between two um, halves of a mold. If we look at the bottom side, we can see that it has a very um, circular patterns, concentric circular patterns, but they're very rough, kind of like waves actually. So you can see they're very textured, raised, and with this kind of modeled irregular wave pattern that goes circularly all around. If we look at this direction, you can see that it is a kind of a dome shape when held upside down. And you can see how the light plays through the various, if we can get this to focus here, plays through the various angles. So let's see if we can get this to behave here for a second. There we go. So, there we go. One thing I wanted to show is one of the peculiar properties of this glass, in that it does have some of the green component with it. So I just happen to have a UV ultraviolet flashlight here. If I can do this without knocking the camera over, I'm going to try to turn off this light and then play a UV light on this so we can see how it reacts under different lighting conditions. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the light now. And we're going to hit it with the UV light. So you can see how it is glowing a much more distinct green as I play the UV light over it. And you can see how the ridges on the bottom are catching the light and really making that green really stand out. So that's kind of neat how it does that. The only thing similar that I know of, which actually kind of behaves this way, is uranium glass. But in that case, it actually is glowing by itself due to the uranium molecules within the glass itself. But this appears to be just normal glass reacting under ultraviolet light. So as I continue to play the ultraviolet light beam around it, you can see the highlights there. I'm going to go ahead and turn on normal white light right now. So you can see we're back to the blue color, but again, if I hit it with the ultraviolet light at the same time, it does make that green really stand out. So pretty interesting. But just want to take a quick look at this clear glass uh, formed ashtray and show off some of the light properties under different types of light. So this has been another episode of Curios for the Curious. Feel free to check out other videos on artsy type objects. We also do unboxing videos as well as show and tell videos on vintage milsurp tools and expanded topics. We also do a series of book review, media reviews. Feel free to check all those out. Feel free to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you next time.